Give me doubt so I can see my neighbor as myself. Give me doubt so I can lay all my weapons on the ground. When the armor of God is too heavy for peace, give me doubt. Give me doubt.
In West Bengal, tourists flock to see what, at first glance, appears to be an expansive forest, branches creating a sprawling canopy over a botanical garden about the size of a Manhattan city block. But what looks to most like a forest of individual trees is actually one massive tree. With 3,600 aerial roots, it's known as the Great Banyan Tree. Banyan trees are found all over the world. The largest grows in a botanical garden near Calcutta. It occupies 5 acres and is more than 250 years old. How does a single tree grow to cover a space of 5 acres with branches 80 feet tall over a period of 2.5 centuries? Banyan trees belong to the fig tree genus. They're pollinated by the species of tiny wasps that breed inside the fruit of their partner trees. Banyans are otherwise known as strangler figs, meaning they grow from seeds that fall from their fruit and land on and then germinate in other trees. Over time, that seed grows as a vine, dependent on the host tree for support. Eventually, it strangles its host tree, subsuming its structure. Its roots then grow from outward extending branches until they reach the ground, becoming trunk-like and expanding the footprint of the tree. When we think about systemic racism and the injustices experienced by people of color that grow unchecked over centuries, maybe we can call to mind the insidious tactics of the banyan tree, planting its seeds in neighboring hosts, then quietly germinating, growing, and eventually subsuming the whole structure of every willing host around it. Racism and its ideology of white supremacy is like the banyan tree, dropping its seeds into every institution, subsuming the very structure of those institutions. Perhaps this explains how it's even possible that black men are 2.5 times more likely to be killed by police than are white men. That blacks are 6 times more likely to be incarcerated than whites. That the median black family has only 10.2% of the wealth of the median white family. That blacks are 2.5 times as likely to be in poverty as whites. That the typical black worker makes 82.5 cents on every dollar earned by the typical white worker. It's time to work on ourselves so that we do not become like the banyan tree, dropping the seeds of racism into all the relational and societal structures around us, enabling racism to grow for generations to come. How can we work together to stop the spread of the one virus that has plagued our country for 4 centuries? First, those of us who are white have to do everything we can to learn what we don't know before we act and do harm because of what we don't know. Well-meaning white people often want to leap into action to solve the problem of racism, to march, to protest, to speak out, to demand change. Before white people try to save the world, we have to remember that racism is a problem that white people created, that white people have, and that white people need to fix. So slow down. Listen to people of color about their experiences of racism. Reflect on what you hear. Come to see that you do not stand outside of the problem, but are very much implicated in it. Second, don't ask people of color to teach you what you don't know. Instead, talk to others about what you don't understand about racism and what you still need to learn. All of us have unconscious biases that, when made conscious through our thoughts and actions, lead to feelings of guilt and defensiveness. But when we work past the guilt and we grow from it, we transcend the anxiety about being perceived as a racist. Just because we have black friends doesn't exempt us from personal responsibility. Failing to do the hard work of confronting our unconscious biases only allows racism to persist, just like that banyan tree dropping seed after seed for generations to come. Third, our ultimate goal isn't to be not a racist, but to become an anti-racist. That is, to commit ourselves to the hard work of dismantling racism. There's no neutrality in the racism struggle. Silence is complicity. The opposite of racist isn't not racist, it's anti-racist. And simply put, an anti-racist is an ally in the struggle to eradicate racism. We have to be honest about how whites benefit from systems that don't favor people of color. Then we use our own privilege to advocate for change and to advocate for those who work for change. If we can begin there, do you think we can find enough common ground to work together for the common good?
Give me doubt so I can see my neighbor as myself. Give me doubt so I can lay all my weapons on the ground. When the armor of God is too heavy for peace, I shall